Oh, she did it again. The Grand Duchess of Delusion herself sat down for yet another podcast interview with Emma Grede, where she dropped insights into her business and her personal life. Donning her best blackfishing face impersonation and Cheshire cat grin, Meghan sat there like the cat who swallowed the canary, letting us all know that everything she does is with laser focus and intention, and that she just asks that we tell the truth. That we tell the truth when talking about Meghan Markle, the woman who likes to constantly rewrite history to fit her own narrative. She also let it known that she was planning to spill some tea. Well, Meghan, I'll be doing a little bit of that myself today. In today's video, we're going to cover the biggest takeaways from Meghan's interview and some narc mask slips along the way. You guys, we got a lot of juicy royal daily tea to get through today, so you know what to do. Sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the royal daily tea. So Meghan Markle sat down for yet another cringy and self-serving podcast interview, trying to convince the world that she's nice and likable and authentic. And why are y'all not getting it? She's literally trying to bang us over the head, telling us what a nice person she is and how authentic and down to earth she is. Because we know who you are, Meghan. We have seen it for over 7 years. But again, Meghan tries to convince us that we haven't seen the real Meghan. Oh, girlfriend, we've seen her and we don't like her. But again, Meghan Markle, ever the actress, ever the chameleon, sat down with Emma Grede and tried to convince the world that she just wants people to write the truth about her. Again, Meghan Markle and the truth do not belong in the same sentence. This is a woman who is constantly trying to rewrite history and ghosting people along the way, and who has been exposed by me and several others in the Megxit community for telling porky pie lies. But let me play you the intro to the brand new podcast interview with Emma Grede.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the public narrative, because when you sign up to be an actress, you know that people are going to start recognizing you, they're going to start speaking to you on the street, but that's very different from what you have now.
It is, Emma. It's very different.
No. I wonder, and listen, I want to say this to you in the best way, because I wonder if you could rewrite your public narrative from scratch. Is there anything that you would do differently?
Yes, I would ask people to tell the truth.
So let's talk about Emma Grede, a little backstory about the host of this podcast. Now, Emma Grede, in my opinion, is another woman who married well. She is married to a very rich and very successful Swedish entrepreneur who founded a jean company called Frame. His name is Jens Grede. He has a value of around $390 million. Not too shabby. Again, we have two rich women who married well, telling the world how to run businesses. Oh, isn't that special? But apparently Emma Grede is also a very successful entrepreneur on her own. This woman is literally in bed with 3 of the Kardashians. She met Kris Jenner at Vogue Fashion Week a couple of years ago, and since then she has gotten in bed with 3 of the Kardashians and their businesses. Now, Emma has partnered with Kim Kardashian for Skims, her shapewear line that was started in 2018. She also has worked with Khloe Kardashian for her jean line called Good American. And she even started a vegan, plant-based cleaning products line called Safely with Kris Jenner. Now, an interesting thing is that Chrissy Teigen was originally part of this partnership back in 2021, but then she had some bullying allegations and was quickly given the door. So now it's just Emma and Kris Jenner who sell this line of vegan, plant-based cleaning products, and I believe they have contracts in Walmart and Target. So again, the interesting thing is that Meghan Markle is going to have Chrissy Teigen on the second season of her cooking show with Love Meghan. Apparently, bullies like to stick together. So we're going to go ahead and go over some of the highlights and the takeaways from this Cringey podcast that I got. You guys, it was like Christmas morning all over again. Meghan Markle just does not translate well. She likes to act like she's this fun, energetic, authentic person, but she's not. She's very robotic. She's very carefully thinks out everything that she does. She famously said she has laser focus and everything she does is with intention. Again, this woman maps out everything. She is a narcissist. She likes to tell people how wonderful and kind and great she is, constantly beating us over the head with those points. Now, if you're a nice person, if you're a nice boss, if you're a great mom, I'm a mom, you don't need to keep telling us that you are. You simply are, and we will be able to see it with our own eyes. But again, Meghan Markle thinks we're all stupid and that she needs to tell us how to think, and she likes to put out this very carefully crafted narrative. Now, this is from a woman who has lied her way for the past 7 years, telling people that the royal family was racist and unkind to her, and that people write untruths. Now, that's rich coming from a woman who tells bold-faced lies. Again, I find this very, very ironic that she sits there and says, I want people to write the truth, to tell the truth. Oh, sweetheart, I don't think you do, because for the past 4.5 years, we've been out here in those YouTube streets telling the truth about your sister, and it's not great. So everything Meghan Markle does, as she says, is with laser focus and intention. Those ginormous wrinkled beige pants are with intention, which is very, very sad. So one of the very first things we're going to talk about is the fact, and I've mentioned this in a previous video, Meghan Markle is proud of that baby mama dance, y'all, where she's grinding to make rent.
You have to be authentic.
Just be authentic. Did you see my baby mama dance?
I mean, stop it. First of all, can I just tell you the timing of that? We maybe watched it like 20 times yesterday, and I was like, is that her?
Oh my God.
Is that Prince Harry there with the fingers and the, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Meghan and Harry, let's go.
But I think
that's you, right? Like that's you in a way that we kind of haven't been able to see you before. And I did like a little secret cheer because I was like, well, that's what I kind of want to see from you. Like I want to see that happiness and that honesty and that like, I don't give a
But also, by the way, that wasn't yesterday.
No, true.
That was 4 years ago. So it's also a really great reminder that with all the noise or whatever people do, there's still a whole life, a real, authentic, fun life that's happening behind the scenes. I'm just grateful that now, being back on social as well, I have a place where I can share it on my own terms.
On your own terms.
This woman has no shame. In my opinion, I don't believe that Emma was really fangirling over the video. I believe that was a complete setup of an interview question, because what Meghan does with intention is she's trying to fight back against us for what we call her out for. She received a lot of negative backlash for the baby mama dance. So she wants to put it out there that, hey guys, I'm just trying to showcase that I'm a fun person and that we're living a full life behind the scenes that you haters don't know about. So I'm going to release a very private and cringy video on my Instagram, because according to Meghan Markle, her Instagram is a way for her to share her narrative on her terms. And look, good for her. I think that's wonderful. I think it's great. However, she clearly has no clue. That video makes her look really, really bad. Now, again, to the 14-year-olds out there on TikTok, they think she's awesome. She's great. What's the big deal? There are so many people on Instagram who are acting like, get a sense of humor. She's just having fun. Relax. It's not a big deal. Go outside and touch grass. But what they don't comprehend, and what Meghan apparently doesn't comprehend, is she's not just Meghan from the hood or Meghan from Montecito. She is Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, married to fifth in line to the throne, the sitting king of the UK. She is representing the people of Sussex, whether we like it or not, and she is representing the British monarchy. Again, she may not be a working royal, but when you walk around with that title, again, these are people who have their cipher as their doormat to their house, who send cards to their friends. From HRH, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, when she gives out her jam to her girlfriends, she is using the royal family. And when she's out there gyrating like a hooker on the street, that is tearing the reputation of the royal family down with her. But again, this woman is thick. She's thick, y'all. She doesn't get it, that it's not just about her. It's not just about Harry. She's representing the royal family, even if it's on a personal Instagram page. The fact that this woman has no class and she has no clue is mind-boggling to me. Now, again, she said she does everything with intention. She knows 100% that this was going to get huge amount of news worldwide, and it was like her sticking the middle finger up at the royal family and saying, F you, I'm going to do what I want, and I don't care if you're embarrassed, because this is making me look authentic, and it's making me get in with the younger folks here on the gram. Oh, Meghan, she literally has no idea how bad this is going to be for her, and it's not going to go away. They've already made fake little Father's Day cards with Meghan and Harry on the cover, which I think is hilarious. And I'm really hoping that there's going to be a South Park episode of her slut drop dance coming very, very soon. But again, optics speak volumes. This is a couple who like to pretend that they're still working royals with their fake royal tours, yet she's out there dropping it like it's hot. Literally, Meghan has no shame. She's giggling and laughing during the interview, which is astounding to me. This woman has no shame, and she certainly doesn't embarrass, because she's a narcissist and she literally does not care. Oh, very, very bad in my opinion. So on the interview, Meghan Markle dropped another doozy, although we had already predicted this here on my channel. Meghan Markle announced that she was putting her business podcast, Confessions of a Female Founder, on hold. Now, I knew this was going to happen because it was a horrible podcast. It was actually a major flop, and Meghan Markle barely talked about business. It was more about feminism and herself in her podcast. Her podcast frequently fell out of the top 200 on Spotify and the top 100 on Apple. Now, in my opinion, she's going to bring it back in about a year plus. Again, she was like, oh, we'll bring it back, in Q4, because I really want to focus on my business, on my passion as ever. Again, Meghan Markle came out into 2025 like explosive diarrhea. She was just everywhere, doing too many things at once. This is a woman who said, jam is my jam, yet made a raspberry sludge spread. Couldn't even get jam correct. She has done too many things at once, and this is why she's starting to fail at everything she does. So she talked about how she was going to put her podcast on hold, maybe until Q4, when she could talk about being more of a success as an entrepreneur. Again, Meghan Markle thinks that she's just been there and done it all. She sold out in 45 minutes, y'all. Therefore, she is just a major success to the entire business world. My prediction is that it's going to be completely dropped from Limonada. She also dropped the bomb that Limonada just got sold. It got acquired. Therefore, Limonada is now under new ownership, no longer a woman-owned company. I predict Meghan's podcast is going to be completely dropped from the network, and she's going to have to start over in like another year, probably with another name. Again, Meghan Markle cannot stick to anything ever. So Meghan answered questions about, were you trying to do the scarcity tactic? And she's like, no, it was just an accident. Even though we planned for everything, we didn't plan to do that. You literally shut off your business for 2 months after only being open for an hour. But yet you're trying to tell the world you didn't do it on purpose. It wasn't a scarcity plan. And then she has the nerve to say, well, your emergency is not my emergency. You know, I don't want to resell products because they're just going to sell out again. So we want to sit and think back and look at the data and make sure we're doing it correctly. Says nobody ever who's running a business, Meghan.
What is our timeline to be able to restock these products that we had? Well, we can restock what we had at those same quantities, but then I'll have another sellout.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want that for people. I think scarcity is great if it happens organically at the onset. But at a certain point, even being consumer minded, I would be fatigued if that kept happening and I was going to a website. So I said, okay, let's take this opportunity to grow, to have exponentially more SKUs as well as more inventory. And that's what we've been doing. We went right back to making sure we could scale up to that level.
Yes.
And have the quality meet the quantity, which was very key. And then if we have that opportunity of more time, the luxury of that is, well, the products that have been in development that were going to be punted to this quarter, should we pull this in to this next launch?
All right, there's
because
decisions
that would be
to be
great.
made. Yes.
There's decisions to be made. And like, what can our offering be at this point that is larger than what sold out in that first run? So as a seasonal drop, I think that was really important to say, let's get it back, but let's get it back in a much bigger way.
Yeah.
People don't worry about selling out. They want to sell out. You don't turn your shop off for 2 months because your emergency is not my emergency. How about the people who bought honey and never received it? Do you think they want to hear you say, your emergency is not my emergency? Sorry, too bad. I'm going to take my time. After all, it's only been 2 months. Now, Meghan Markle has announced on her Instagram that on June 20th, she's going to restock your favorites and a couple of new surprises. Again, I'm very interested to find out if the people who purchased her honey for $28 are actually going to receive their honey. Because remember, she didn't refund anybody. She kind of gave them an IOU, and I'm going to give you something real nice. Something real nice, y'all. You just wait. So we're going to wait and see what she actually does for those customers. But I do find it very telling that an entrepreneur says, your emergency is not my emergency. I'm going to take my time. You were open for an hour, ma'am. An hour. And it's been 2 months. You are the worst business person ever. Seriously, it is a joke. Then she had the audacity to sit there and say, well, I'm not a niche product line. I'm a heritage line. Excuse me? You literally told people you were making seasonal products that are short term. Your store was open for an hour, but you're not a novelty shop. Like, people really need to have edible flowers on the regular. They need to have a very thin raspberry sludge on the regular, or boxed sugar cookies with fake flowers in it, or a crepe mix, or some subpar green tea that they could get at the grocery store for half the price. You are running a novelty gimmick store, ma'am. The only reason people are buying is because it's from you. Those are your fans that you kept waiting for 2 months. So acting like this is a real heritage brand is a joke. So Meghan Markle actually has the audacity to believe she's going to take her brand global. That's right. Meghan Markle is a legend in her own mind and a global icon. The woman who literally turned her store off after 1 hour and has gone quiet with tumbleweeds blowing through her storefront for 2 months because she was afraid of a restock, now thinks she's going to go global. She can't even handle America. But hey, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Delusion herself, literally believes that she's not running a gimmick brand, but she's a global icon. Y'all, the delusion is real with this one. So another story that I found hilarious, file this under things that never happened, was Meghan Markle is teaching her children the value of $1 because Meghan Markle grew up in the projects, clipping coupons, always looking for a sale. She was such an entrepreneur as a child. She sold scrunchies for $1 in the 5th grade. Remember, at 14, Meghan Markle had 3 million jobs, right? Again, she fails to tell people that her daddy was an award-winning lighting director in Hollywood who worked on several very successful shows, putting her through very expensive private Catholic school and college. But nonetheless, Meghan Markle knows the value of $1, even though she'll spend $60,000 parading around for 5 days at the Invictus Games. Meghan Markle, she is a spendthrift, y'all, always looking for a sale. Again, is anyone buying that story? But Meghan wanted to be known that she's such a great mom and she's teaching her children to farm and to garden and the value of $1 bill, that they even do a farmer's market.
Do you have conversations with your kids about money? Like, how are you even beginning to think about that type of thing?
Well, we sometimes do a little farmer's market stand.
Nice.
So we have...
That's so American. I love that idea. Like a little lemonade stand just makes me feel like that is like perfect Americana in Montecito with a farm stand.
But
like,
we do...
How beautiful.
We grow a lot of veggies and part of what I want them...
Go and sell these kids.
Part of what I want them to learn is, and gardening is really, really so great for children because it teaches them patience, teaches them to value and appreciate their food. So you start from seed and you watch it grow and they wait. But with that, it's like, now do you want to sell your harvest? Mm-hmm. And do you want to share it with our community? And also, what do you want to do with those funds once you have them? So really starting to understand as they're learning counting and numbers and all of those things that there's a cost and a price for things.
Yes.
And I think that's key for children to understand that, especially children who are very lucky to have a home that has privilege. You need to know that, just like manners, and taking care of the things around you, there is a value on things. And in our life, for my husband and I, it's really important that they understand the value of things.
If those children ever appeared anywhere outside in Montecito, especially at a farmer's market, people would have taken a photograph, okay? Those kids barely leave their house. Was the farmer's market in their backyard with the maids and the nannies pretending to buy produce from the children? They certainly were never taken to a real farmer's market. We've never seen Meghan Markle and her kids ever outside, except for the photographs that they carefully curate and present to the public. They are never packed anywhere. So if they were at a farmer's market, they would have been photographed. I'm sorry. It would have been in the tabloids. It would have been everywhere because everyone has a cell phone. This never happened. Meghan Markle is just really weird with her porcupine lies, trying to make it seem like her everyday mom chores, that she needs to earn a medal. Oh my God, I love making lunch boxes, even though she acted like she didn't know lunch boxes were a thing. Remember Billie Eilish? And, I just love drop off and pick up. I just love being a mom. I'm a mom. Again, Meghan, these are things that normal people do on the regular. I don't know why you feel like you need a medal. It's bizarre. Then she talked about her leadership style. Again, I felt like this podcast, Meghan was just addressing a lot of the rumors that have been circulating about her. We got the mama dance, we got the podcast that she's pretending to put on hold, but I think she's been dropped because it failed. And then the baby mama dance was just to make her fun and authentic. Again, she acts like she doesn't read the tabloids or listen to us on social media, But the woman is constantly trying to counteract what she does to kind of prove her point. But again, she's not in the prove it game, y'all, but she's constantly proving it to us by banging it over our heads that she's a nice person, she's authentic, she's a mom. I really was pregnant. Here's my baby mama dance. She's always counteracting and she's always proving it to us. But again, she's not in the prove it game. And apparently she's not in the people pleasing game either, because Meghan Markle even said, look, as a boss, I don't go out of my way to people please. People don't have to like me, but they have to respect me. Again, I think there are several people who have worked for you who might have a different opinion. So in a way, she was trying to counteract that. Then she talked about her relationship with Netflix, her partnership. This woman has so many teams working with her. She acts like she is the helm of everything and she's just running everything. But again, Netflix is actually running the show. She has a separate team for the show with Love Meghan as ever. And then she has her own staff who are left at Archwell Foundation. Again, the woman has everybody doing the heavy lifting, but Meghan likes to act like she's just doing it all for herself because she's just a boss babe. But the interesting thing that she dropped about the partnership with Netflix was that she's not in the people-pleasing game and that she's no longer trying to go through everyone trying to get their approval. Instead, she is the one who makes the final choice, and that Netflix believes in her and her decision making, which I found hysterical. It's like, Netflix, you might want to rethink that about Meghan. Ugh. Again, Meghan Markle and her decisions are not exactly the best. And then, of course, Emma was trying really, really hard to make Meghan likable, make her a little bit more, down to earth. Like, are you afraid of having imposter syndrome? And Meghan was like, nope, I'm very proud of myself. I invested myself. It's like, okay, Meghan. Again, Emma tried several times during this interview to make Meghan more likable, a little bit more down to earth. But again, Meghan just wasn't buying it. She wasn't going through it. But one thing about Meghan, she really likes herself. She believes in herself and she's just very proud of herself. And she likes to give herself space for grace and a lot of forgiveness for herself. Apparently that does not go to anybody else like her father or the royals, but nope, she likes to forgive herself a lot. She gives herself a lot of space for grace, and she's very surprised at how great she is at bouncing back. Again, it's a dance. It's building the plane as you're flying. And she's really proud of the fact that she's invested in herself and she has the courage to bet on herself. Again, Meghan Markle is not exactly very modest, is she? Meghan said that, she realized very early on when she was married into the royal family that she had the Meghan effect and that everything would sell out. Now, this is after Emma had asked her, have you thought about going into the fashion and makeup space? And she's like, yeah, I've thought about it. Maybe we can have a conversation later. I predict Meghan Markle and Emma Grede might go into a fashion line in the future. You heard it here first. But again, Emma Grede is known for denim. She's known for fashion. I would not be surprised if Emma and Meghan teamed up for like an athletic line or a clothing line, a jean line, maybe some huge beige pants would be the next thing for Meghan Markle to sell. So I would not be surprised if her and Emma teamed up, and she even said, oh, maybe we should have a conversation. I think that's coming in the future. But the thing I found interesting was that Meghan was like, yes, I had the Meghan effect and I wore everything with intention because I knew people's lives and livelihoods depended on it. Ugh. Again, tooting her own horn a bit much. Catherine had the Kate Middleton effect, but Meghan also believes she has the same power. But the interesting thing she said was that she was not comfortable with people monetizing off of Lily's clothing, that she didn't like people doing affiliate links. But of course, if it comes from a place of love and joy, then she was great about it. Again, it's okay if Meghan is making money, But if anyone else makes money, well, no, we can't do that. No, no, no. But the interesting thing is when Meghan came out with Instagram and she did the My Shop, she was monetizing Princess Charlotte's dresses. But again, Meghan Markle is such a hypocrite. It's not okay for other people to monetize what Lily or her children wear, but if she does it, it's okay. Just like the game that she put out there, Candyland, was completely monetized. She had a dress from Disneyland that Lily was wearing. Again, everything Meghan Markle does is with intention for her to make money. And monetizing Lily, I told you that is the next thing that is coming. And a clothing line probably with Emma Grede. And I also predicted that her podcast would be delayed, if not canceled, coming back in a year or so and rebranded because it was a flop. So she's literally addressing all of those issues here in the podcast, but she likes to make it like it's her decision. It's my decision to delay everything. No, it's not. Your podcast was a failure. And Lemonada just got bought out by another company. Lemonada is no more, or it's going to have new leadership. So I believe Meghan Markle will put her podcast off. Again, she's putting all of her attention now in as ever. So we are waiting to see what is going to drop on June 20th, which happens to be Prince William's birthday. Oh, what a coinkydink. But you guys, what do you think about this interview? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you and hope to see y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.